Hello everyone, ARMY. What if the most powerful moment of Fashion Week didn't happen on the runway, but in a voice message you couldn't even finish listening to? Just as Grazia Singapore announced that Fashion Week was about to heat up with the arrival of BTS star Kim Taehyung, the world expected glamour, domination, and once again a historic front-row dominance. But instead, what happened was different. ARMY cried. Why did Jungkook's unexpected message change everything? What did he say that left Kim Taehyung speechless? And why did this comeback feel emotional, not just triumphant? Was it just about fashion, or the beginning of a story no one could have imagined? That night, the spotlight felt brighter than ever, and the tears flowed. Global media exploded as V once again dominated Fashion Week. Grazia Singapore wrote that the fashion calendar was about to get even hotter because V was ready to arrive. The world braced for a major impact. When Taehyung appeared, he didn't just show up. He made history. But behind the exclusive Celine invitation dated March 7th, behind the glitz and glamour of the celebrities on the front row, something more personal was happening. A message from Jungkook circulated, brief, yet deeply meaningful. The message wasn't about style. It wasn't about luxury brands. It wasn't about Paris or Milan. It was about Taehyung as a person. For years, the narrative about V in the fashion world had always been the same. Ethereal visuals, effortless charisma, the living embodiment of luxury, designers raving about him, editors chasing him, cameras seemingly adoring him. But Jungkook's words reportedly touched on a different side: pressure, expectations, and how the world saw Taehyung as untouchable, while rarely seeing the burden he carried. Suddenly, this glamorous comeback felt different. ARMY members began to notice. While international fashion accounts celebrated V's return, fans noticed the small details: a slight change in expression, a smile that lingered a fraction of a second longer, as if holding back something. Was it pride, gratitude, or something heavier and bittersweet? When Jungkook talked about Taehyung, the internet never ignored him. Their relationship was always in the spotlight, full of support, full of history, connected on a journey spanning over a decade. This time, it feels different. Industry-wise, Taehyung's presence at the Celine show was a strategic move. His influence in luxury marketing is undeniable. Every time he wears the brand, searches spike. Every time he sits front row, the resale market reacts. This isn't just a celebrity presence, it's a power move in the global fashion economy. But why are ARMY crying? Because Jungkook's message shifts perspective. Instead of seeing this as a resounding solo victory, this moment feels like a reminder of a shared journey, of trainee days, of first stages, of behind-the-scenes laughter, of the unseen struggles behind global success. There's been no official statement about the conflict, no confirmation of the tension, yet the feeling remains. Why do these fashion headlines feel like chapters in a larger story? March 7th now feels symbolic. The world will see what Taehyung wears, but ARMY will see how he breathes, how his eyes move, how he reacts when Jungkook's name is mentioned. Some fans wrote, "He looks strong, but he seems to be carrying something." Others said, "I'm not sure." Jungkook's words felt like they were protecting him. The fashion media may focus on the silhouette of the black suit or the details of the accessories, but for millions, the question is deeper. Is this Taehyung's most vulnerable era? On one hand, headlines proclaim V is shaking up the fashion world again. On the other, fans whisper, why does this feel like breakup energy? Maybe it's not about breakup. Maybe it's about growth. Maybe it's about evolution. Jungkook's message, whether intentional or not, adds a layer of authenticity to this moment. In this era, the public doesn't just want perfection. They crave honesty and vulnerability. And perhaps, behind the crisp suits and Parisian cameras, what we're witnessing isn't just a fashion icon. We're seeing Kim Taehyung, a friend, an artist, a human being, touched by the words of someone who has walked alongside him since the beginning. When the Celine doors open and the cameras flash, the world will judge his outfit, but ARMY will look into his eyes. Will we see an icon conquering the fashion world once again? Or a man who carries the echo of Jungkook's words in his heart? The answer is just a few days away. And this time, Fashion Week isn't just about fabrics and front rows. It's about friendship, pressure, support, and unspoken emotions. Stay with us, because this story isn't over yet. When March 7th finally arrived, Paris was filled not only with camera flashes, but also with millions of hearts beating silently. Outside the Celine building, fans waited with bated breath. Inside, editors, photographers, and industry figures prepared to welcome a global icon. But between those two worlds, there was an invisible line. A line of emotion connecting the opulent runway with Jungkook's simple message. When Taehyung stepped out of the car, his steps were calm, his expression elegant. The spotlights swept across his face. His jacket fell perfectly on his shoulders. It all seemed like the definition of control, like the definition of victory. But ARMY didn't just see his silhouette. They saw his eyes. They searched for traces of emotion, for the remaining echoes of the message that had left him speechless.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody